Yeah, good morning. This is Bang Bang Mayhill. Please press the like button and subscribe. Um, just a little podcast this morning about my father-in-law. I'd like to apologise to my father-in-law. Rest in peace, Mickey Johnson. Um, Listen, me and him had some terrible, terrible fights. Guns and knives and all that, and all bits and pieces of wood and glass and all that. But I just want to apologise to him. I want to apologise to his daughter, Danny, Danny Johnson, and to all the family really for what's going on in my life. And Mickey was a proper man. He was a better man than me, without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, he was involved with a big company, the Thursday game. Um, I knew about it. I didn't know that much about it. I know Jimmy Moody was involved with it. The old man had a lot of respect for someone like that to be involved with my father-in-law. My father-in-law must have a lot of respect, and he was a dangerous man. I know that because he tried to shoot me. He tried to stab me. So he tried to take me away in the van. So I do know that he's quite a dangerous man, yeah. And I think it's maybe because I was with his daughter that it didn't get as bad as what he could have got. And Danny maybe saved my life more times than enough. He knows that I was involved in big things, and I put Mickey with me, involved with it. But it's like everything else, yeah. You go in prison, you get a big bit of bird. You come out of prison, and things change. Everything changes, yeah. People, it's very, very hard to get a living back. All them people you knew and or maybe straight or moved on, yeah. And it's hard to get a living. I was very lucky when I come out, training and doing what I was doing and fighting in prison, meeting proper people like Mickey Gooch that set me forward, yeah. And they set me forward. I was getting gold off Mickey and diamonds and silver and stuff like that, and selling it. It's a straight business what Mickey was doing, and he had a couple of shops down the garden, and I was involved. And I love Mickey for that. So because I was earning good money, Mickey Johnson come out of prison. I met Mickey Johnson round the house, sat there with Mickey, with his daughter and Dina, and I mean, shook his hand. I mean, I didn't have no respect for him whatsoever because I could see that he didn't like me with his daughter, but that's beside the point. And then he was involved with a guy called Johnny Reed, I think, Jimmy Reed, that had all this thing going on with the big house, all the houses, and I lived, and Jimmy Ward was mates with Reedy, and so Jimmy Ward became a supergrass. Jimmy Ward was a person that set me up really. I mean, before he become a supergrass, I mean, no one knows people are going to become supergrasses, But I worked with Jimmy Ward, and he was a nice guy, Jimmy Ward, as far as that's concerned. Even though at the end of it all, he tried to get me assassinated. He tried to get me killed. I mean, he was with people that was going to chop me, and he paid these people money to chop me. All he showed people the paperwork that was on it. I mean, then he turned supergrass. All them people went in prison. I think they chopped the guy's head off or something. A police officer. I'm not quite sure what it was, but I know Jimmy Ward went supergrass. But at that time, Jimmy Ward was involved with my father-in-law. My father-in-law was involved with properties with Jimmy Ward, and Jimmy Ward, gave me the property in Kingston. Fair play to him. I bought the property off Jimmy Ward. Had a beautiful place. I mean, come on. That's what it's all about, isn't it? We don't want to fall out with people. I didn't fall out with Jimmy Ward. I thought he was a nice guy. Didn't think anything nasty of him. He was married to a girl called Jackie Stanton, Alan Stanton's wife. I mean, what you got to remember is not only my father-in-law involved with Jimmy Moody, he was also involved with, as I say, Jimmy Ward, and they're all proper people at that time. And then he was also involved with Johnny Bindon. I mean, big stories about Johnny Bindon and my father-in-law, and to go around the house and sit there with Johnny Bindon and have tea and coffee and cakes and all that with the mother-in-law, Dina, and John, and my father-in-law, Jimmy, and my father-in-law, Mickey. I don't even remember seeing Jimmy Moody. I might have, I don't know. But as I say, my father-in-law was proper proper face, really, proper gangster. Should have showed him a lot more respect than I did. I didn't show, I didn't no respect for him, mate. Even though I didn't know too much about who he was involved with at that time. I knew he was involved with Jimmy Ward. I knew he was involved with Bingham, but I had no idea that he was involved with the Thursday game with Jimmy Moody. Yeah. So it was quite easy for them to chop me, I suppose, but they let it go. But the old man did try to shoot me down his road, so I think he had intentions of killing me, and they tried to stab me in the hospital. I mean, come on, me and the old man didn't get on at all, and they had a big fight in my house, you know what I mean? So, it was going to happen one day anyway, but I moved on. Me and my daddy fell out. The old man died with the wife, Dina. I'm just gutted, really, that I'm sick, really. I apologise to Danny Johnson very much, my ex-girlfriend, and for what I did, and the whole family, really, for what I did. I was a bit of a fool, but you're young, not young, I wasn't young, but I was a big guy with a big company, worked at a big company, so why should I bow down to him? Whereas I didn't want to bow down to him, but I didn't give him the respect that he deserved. I mean, I didn't give him no respect at all. He didn't give me no respect. The only respect he gave me was when I was giving him work. And then, and that's what you do with your father-in-law. I didn't charge him anything extra, just give him the work and let him crack on, because he was my father-in-law. And he introduced me to Jimmy Ward. No, he wasn't out of prison then. It was Dina, the mum, that introduced me to Jackie Stanton, actually. And Jackie Stanton introduced me to Jimmy Ward. Jimmy Ward gave me a big place in Battersea, by Battersea Bridge, a massive big house. We had all the downstairs of this place. It was absolutely stunning, big gaff, but didn't feel comfortable there at all. It wasn't our place. Me and Danny were falling out because it was quite a long way from my mum's, Battersea. And even worse than that, me and Danny moved to Fulham. We had a gaff in Fulham and in the top floor, yeah. And it was not fair on Danny because I think she was pregnant at that time. And I bought Danny a big diamond ring, a big heart-shaped diamond ring. And we'd had a terrible row in the place because she wanted to get out of there. And I said, listen, this is what we've got to take at the moment because there's nothing else. And we had a big fight and called all sorts of names, as we do. And you got to remember, I think I was on coke then. Matter of fact, I know I was on coke then, yeah. And we'd had a big row, and she picked up the ring, the diamond ring, and threw it out the window. She's on the 4th floor. I couldn't believe it, you know what I mean? I spent all the way on the diamond ring, and she's chucking it out the window. So straight away, I shot down the stairs. Lucky it wasn't. Lucky it was dusk. It wasn't pitch black. It was in the summertime, and it took me hours to find this ring. I was searching everywhere, and believe me, it was more like 100 feet away than a foot away. So where it landed, it just got bounce, and cars whizzing by. It wasn't smashed. It was okay. So I took it, and I didn't give it back to Danny at that time. You know what I mean? But I took it and give it back to Danny later when we become okay. But the old man was always around. I mean, that time, me and Danny really fell out big time. Danny went to live with her mum and took my kids with her, and it broke my heart, yeah. But I used to train most mornings, but I used to train by walking the dogs 12 miles every day around Richmond Park. I mean, that is some part, Richmond Park, believe me, 12 miles to walk. And my father-in-law, and he was a good granddad to his kids. I mean, he was fantastic. He was more like a father to my boy than I was, yeah. He used to take my boy over Richmond Park all the time, and he used to take him to a place called the squirrel place. All squirrels used to go there, and there's all chairs around there you fed the squirrels. And my boy used to take my boy over there all the time. And when I used to walk around the park sometimes, I used to bump into Mickey with my son. So, it hurt me, but you could see Mick in his face that he wanted to hurt me really in a way. It was more smart. Hello, mate, all right, mate? And nothing. You could see that it was a bit nasty, you know what I mean? But wanted to take my boy with me, but he said, no, you know what Danny's like, way, you know what I mean? And my boy at that time was going to a prep school called Park Hill School, and that was private, so that was to cost me a little bit of money. And of course, when me and Danny split up, like we are, like a fool, like an idiot, I ain't paying the money. I ain't paying the money for the private school. You get it. You left me. You get it. Like a fool, you know. In the end, and you've got to pay it anyway. And I remember going around the private school and the prep school, and going in there and paying cash. I think I give her £5 or £6 cash, and she went mad. I mean, evidently her husband was a serious crime squad on the arm lot, the gunned up lot, and she's supposed to have told him that I'd come in there with 5 or 6 grand, and they checking me out, and checking me out, and she said, look, we can't accept the money, it's all done through the bank. Danny would do that. Obviously, I said, look, me and Danny fell out at the minute, but I've got to pay the cash. I said, I owe the cash, and I'm paying the cash. And she had to accept the cash, and she did accept it. And then Danny went mad on the phoned me up. Who do you think you are, going in with 6 grand, letting these people know that you've got this sort of money? Don't you understand? I said, listen, of course you've got this sort of money, because the kid's in a private prep school, Dan. And then he got Danny shouting, and he got the mother-in-law shouting, then he got the father-in-law shouting, what an idiot you are, and then we start fighting, me and the father-in-law, who do you think you are? And this is what it was like, I mean, the family was a really, really gangster family, you know what I mean? I mean, I was told, whether or not this is true, but there was an MP in Kingston at that time. I forget his name. I'm not even going to tell his name if I know his name. But the old man, this is a long time ago, the old man had a boot of explosives in his car, and he made a deal with this MP that if he hands over the explosives, someone or something would be forgot about, and it did. I mean, that was what I'm saying. So the old man was involved with some heavy people. I mean, Jimmy Moody was involved with the IRA. Whether or not it was something to do with it, I don't know. But I didn't want to get involved with that sort of thing. I mean, crazy. I mean, I used to do crazy things. I mean, crazy things that you wouldn't believe. I used to walk down the road at night time, and I used to smash every window in a BMW convertible that I bought my Danny. It's cost me money. I've got to pay money to get it all done. So is that mad or what? But I used to do it. I mean, people go, nah, I used to do it with my fist. This is how crazy I was. I used to smash all the windows in the car with my fist. Front windscreen, side, everything, boom. You know how hard it is? But I used to smash them, mate. I used to smash them with my fist. I mean, unbelievable powerful, mate. Unbelievable how powerful I am when I punch. I couldn't believe it myself, but I used to smash the windscreen all the time. I used to punch at the old man's tyres with a screwdriver, with a Phillips screwdriver. I always do his BMW. I loved it. But the old man had gone mad, phoned me up and said, listen, you're going to die. You're going to be dead soon. While you're going, yeah, whatever, Mick, you've tried it a few times and you ain't succeeded. Anyway, so I remember there's a club, a Fulham club. I think it's in Chelsea, Fulham Road. Is it Fulham Road or Kings Road, Chelsea? That way is a club. I forget the name. What's it called? Oh, the Gas Club. That's it, the Gas Club in Fulham. Mickey, my mate, Mickey Johnson, my father-in-law, he used to go there all the time with Johnny Bindon, and Danny, my daughter. Danny, my girlfriend, used to go there as well. And I've been there a few times. The Gas Club wasn't bad. It was what it was. And when me and Danny fell out, I used to plot around the Gas Club waiting for her to come out. You know what I mean? And one time I was plotting around there and just walked down the road to get something, and who passed me? Danny in a cab. I run back to the car, got back in the car, chased the cab, but the cab was too far in front. But I went down Danny's road and knocked at the door, said down the Gas Club and all this, that and the other. With a guy, I put it on her, you know what I mean? She said, I can do what I like. I'm no longer with you. Do you know what I mean? And then the old man come out, there was murder with the old man, the old woman. you know. So in the end of the day, I just left it, mate. I mean, we used to fight all the time. This is why that I'm apologising. I'm apologising to Mick and to Dina. You know, rest in peace, both you, Mickey Johnson and Dina Johnson. Rest in peace. I'm only sorry that what I did. I mean, what sort of person goes and digs up their ashes and throws it down the drain? What sort of person is that? I mean, come on. You can't blame my Danny for hating me, yeah? I can't blame him, mate. I mean, what was up with me? You know what I mean? I must have been on so much drugs, I didn't know what I was doing. You know, I mean, I had to go to a house to pick my kids up. That killed me. That killed me. You know, you imagine going to a house to pick your kids up, and you live in a palace. Yeah, I lived in a palace, mate. My place was outstanding, and there's me going to a house where there's millions of kids, right, with dads coming in like crackheads and junkies picking their kids up. And there's me, you know, pick my boy up in my BM and then drive my boy on Mercedes, but take my boy where we want to go, you know what I mean? And you imagine that, it's like, my Danny, before I met my Danny, yeah, she was involved with a guy down Kensington High Street. He had, just off of Kensington High Street, he had a few restaurants down there, and he was, you know, big, good-looking guy, plenty of money, but he had a big nose. This is unbelievable what happened. I mean, he had a big nose, and me and Danny fell out, and we hadn't seen each other for quite some time. And anyway, so I picked my son up from the home, from the house. I was supposed to pick my daughter up. I did say this before. I was supposed to pick my daughter up, and I didn't. And when me and my boy went down to Covent Garden to get a drawing done of Chelsea and put his head on one of the players' bodies. This guy was doing it, sketching it, and this big canopy blew off. Crazy, mate. But things are calm as mad. And it blew off the canopy, and I run to the canopy to pick it up. I picked the canopy up. As I picked up, who's in front of me? Danny. She's down Covent Garden. She's down there, Danny. Who's there? This guy turned around, and this guy with the long nose, he's had an operation on his nose. His nose is all bandaged up, all this, that, and the other. He's got my little girl in his arms, cuddling it. No man, I don't care who you are, is going to have that. He's going to stand for that. Especially me, I ain't going to stand for that, mate. You know what I mean? He's lucky that he was around people, because he wouldn't have. I'd have stabbed him to death. I'd have smashed him to pieces, mate. I'd have killed him. You know what I mean? Without a shadow of a doubt. But he grabbed my daughter. I grabbed my daughter, put my daughter, give it to Danny, and I nutted him so bad, mate. I split his nose wide open again. Yeah. And this geezer. What can you do? I mean, I wasn't married to Danny, but she had my 2 kids. We lived in a big place in Kingston. We had it all, money, everything, cars, everything. So, I mean, and to go with that guy, I mean, the guy was multed up. You know what I mean? That showed that it was multed up. My Danny was absolutely beautiful. She was a beautiful woman. You know, come on. And for what I did to the old man, I deserve everything she ever did to me. Everything my Danny ever done to me, I deserve, yeah. All I ever asked really is for maybe to get a phone call, so I could maybe talk to my daughter, maybe I could talk to my son, get my boy to talk to me. But imagine my daughter, I only spoke to my daughter for so long, 20 odd years, 30 odd years, that it break my heart just to talk to her, you know what I mean? And it's something that I've always wanted. I'm a fool. I'm the one that's caused all the problems, you know. But come on, it's time now. Come on, you sit down and think about things, and you go. I tell you what it is, right? A lot of it is I'm in a place where I can't go nowhere. Yeah, I'm trapped in a way. It's like being in prison, but being in prison in a mansion. Yeah, but I can't go nowhere. I'm trapped, so it gives me more time to think about things, to think about my life, what's going on in my life, and you know, and then you realise, mate, what a fool you was, what an idiot, you know, what a fool. Come on, she's got her own life now, you know, and I wish her all the best, and I hope she's happy, yeah. But please don't stop my kids from phoning me. You know, I want to talk to them. I want to talk to my daughter. My son's more or less told me that he's not interested in me. You know, as far as I've been concerned, that he wants to bash his dad up. Fair play to him. Why not? I mean, I've done so much to his father-in-law. I mean, his granddad and his grandma and all that. You know, I haven't been very nice towards them. You know what I mean? So he's entitled to do what he wants to do. Yeah, and you know, but he's my son, and you know, my daughter. I just want to talk to her, mate. Come on, Dan. You know, let me talk to my daughter. Anyway, I want you, Danny, to accept my apologies the way I was to your dad, and accept my apologies to the way I was to your mum. I did try. I tried my hardest to be a good son-in-law, and it didn't work out. All right. I've been in and out of prison. I was given an IPP. I've done 10 years in the IPP. I've been out nearly 10 years now. I'm writing a book, Dan. Obviously, so you're going to be in the book, and the father-in-law and mother-in-law is going to be in the book. It goes without saying, you know what I mean? But I don't want no problems from anybody. I just want to get on my life. But it'd be nice for us to talk. We could talk easy, Dan. There's no big problems, you know. But please accept my apologies for why I was to the old man. Yeah, the old man was a proper gangster, a proper man. He worked with good people, the Thursday game, and to do that, I'll give him the utmost respect. Anyway, please have a beautiful day, and please like and subscribe. This is Bang Bang Ray Hill. Have a nice day, yeah? Bye-bye.